G'day, Blue Baggers, and welcome to Blues Footy Live. It is your host, Jed Zetzer, here alongside Harrison Hymans. Bolt, welcome.
Zoot, off a big week, beating the Scum. We're back, though, for a bigger challenge probably this week against the high-flying Bulldogs, but we'll quickly recap the Dons game because that was just exactly what the doctor ordered.
It was. It absolutely was. Bolt, initial reactions walking out of the G on Sunday, what were they?
Oh, well, bar the fact that we were mingling with a lot of feral pigs at the MCG, I was just so glad that we could we kicked 19 goals in a win. That doesn't happen often. We don't win shootouts that often. It was a tight, intense, frenetic. It was more the fact that we won it was a really good game of footy, which we came up on top in. So to be able to win and get a lot of really good contributions from a lot of, fringe borderline players is very promising. So a couple of boys, pressed their claims really nicely. It was just a very pleasing day at the office.
It certainly was. Is it fair to say that was one of the higher quality games of football that we've won in a while?
Yeah, it was definitely one of the games where we've had to just remain switched on, I guess, because, if you lost concentration on Sunday for 5 minutes, you'd concede 2 or 3 on the run. And we did that multiple times throughout the game. So there was a lot of character. There was a lot of character shown. And as we've touched on it, deep in that, probably midway through that third quarter, it started getting pretty heated and intense. So it was just a great outcome.
Blue Baggers tuning in. Let us know who impressed you, I guess, in the match on Sunday, because there were a lot that impressed us, Bolt. Do you want to name a few that you were particularly impressed by?
Well, I thought the big four on Sunday were probably Mackay, Sard, Walsh and Cunningham. And we'll speak about Dave Cunningham probably a bit more in depth because he's been one of those fringe players that has come in the last, 2 weeks. And, and Murphy, we may as well speak about the fringe players because they're getting, comment. Parksy, he's the man at the moment, Parks.
Yep.
And we spoke about how much of a hole he left when he went out of the team, against Port Adelaide and Brisbane. He's massive for us. He's just massive for balancing that backline, which is really, really impressive. And, Owies as well was the other one that came in and kicked 3 goals. What more can you ask of Matt Owies? I think we were both against him coming in, but we were proven wrong. He played really well.
Yeah, it was incredible to see these fringe players come in and have an impact. And I think the thing that we've loved about Owies is the fact that he came in. Not only did he kick goals, though, he also contributed well with his pressure, and his tackling was brilliant. But yeah, I think Parks and Owies are getting a lot of love, which is great to see. Bolt, thoughts on Sardi? I mean, he gets booed all day and then comes in and just goes bang and was magnificent on the day, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, it's exactly what we needed with Sard. He defied the boos. They were persistent all day. He was brilliant. And this is why we need Parks, because it frees up someone like Adam Sard. We had him playing so deep against Brisbane. And, Sardi is our greatest weapon with the footy in hand. He's brilliant. He's absolutely tremendous. But yeah, should we get stuck into the Bulldogs game?
Yes, let's do it. Well, where do we even start with this one, Bolt?
Well, I went to the Friday night game between the Bulldogs and Richmond, so I was in the crowd for it. And despite them losing, they are terrific. And for them, I guess, the midfield just bats so deep in regards to, obviously McRae, Bontempelli, Hunter, Liberatore, Bailey Smith. It's, and they get English back to ruck, and he'll ruck with Steph Martin. It's a midfield brigade that is clearly the number one in the competition. And they win most of their games off the back of midfield ascendancy, which they had early. And Treloar, I forgot to mention Treloar. So that
he's arguably the most impressive at the moment.
Yeah, he may not be the best, but he gets on to the end of the handball chains. He is scary in full flight, Treloar. And when he plays in a team where he may not have to defend as much as he maybe needs to, because he's got, guys working both ways, he's so dangerous, Treloar. As in, our midfield's going to have a very big day. Because we know our midfield probably isn't doesn't bat as deep as a lot of midfielders around the competition. So um, I think it's going to be very tough for us. And do we have any word on whether Zach Williams will be available?
They've said they expect him to be available, I think, from the injury report. Maybe a test, I think they said. But it's going to be interesting. Team changes this week. I mean, it's crazy. I just want to quickly touch on this comment because we spoke about this earlier in the week, but Park's very important structurally for us. He allows, the other defenders to play their natural games. And we touched on this, Bolt. He is structurally important for us, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he is. It's that extra, tall. They can play kind of tall or small, and it just allows us to get the matchups we need when the opposition has that, resting ruckman or that extra tall. It's very, very important. I know I'm a big Luke Parks fan, and I guess in the absence of Marchbank, it's someone we do need at the moment.
Yeah, I was about to say he's filling the role that Marchbank has been unable to because of injury, so it's been important. But yeah, back to the Doggies game. So it's going to be very interesting because the Bulldogs, they have Norton and English and Bruce. They have quite a big forward line. How do you see those matchups panning out?
Well, it's tough. So I think Wiedering goes to Norton. That's the obvious one there. Best defender versus best forward. It's very tough who Jones will go to because English has been such a weapon up forward as well for him. Like English has been kicking goals. I think Jones will get English.
Yeah, a bit more versatile, I think.
I think Jones will get English when English is down there. And then in terms of Bruce, well, it's either going to be Plowman or Parks. It might be Plowman rather than... No, I think it'll be Parks. I think it'll be Parks and Bruce.
Hopefully it's Parks. I mean, Plowman, we know we like him to play small. Who will he go on then, Plowman, if Parks goes to Bruce?
It's just a matter of whether Vandermeer's available or Mitch Hannon's now in that Bulldogs team. So maybe a Mitch Hannon. Doesn't look like Wallace is going to get back in. The only other ones they've really got down there are like Anthony Scott, who I'm not going to lose sleep over. So yeah, it's probably the next one's Mitch Hannon, I'd say.
Yeah, that's fair. And in the midfield,
well, I guess the other elements of this is Bontempelli. You'd say Plowman's going to get the Bontempelli matchup when he drifts forward.
Wow. Okay. Well, that'll be interesting. Well, as we sort of dissect this midfield of the Bulldogs, how on earth do we stop it? Because it's going to run, it's going to be rampant on the day. I feel like we have to utilize Curnow in a tagging role, I guess, to take one of them out of the game. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah. The thing is, though, because their midfield bats so deep, is it worth us sacrificing one of our, seasoned midfielders?
Yeah, and that's a fair point. It's probably not, but
I'm not sure if it's worth going with that from the outset. It's obviously, if it needs to happen during the game, if, McRae gets off the leash, if, Bontempelli, even like we've seen how important Liberatore is to the Bulldogs, which will be interesting. So Debbie O'Connor has got an interesting one here in the comments with, I think it means to say Sauce on Bont and Curnow on Treloar. Yeah. We've seen Silvani play that role on Fife before in Perth, I think it was, which is interesting. And even Curnow and McRae. So, I don't think Curnow is going to be able to take the Bontempelli matchup. So it will be one of the runners in Treloar or McRae. I think Treloar is probably a little bit more damaging in the fact that he's been kicking goals this year. So he's been so critical to scoring chains at the Western Bulldogs.
Blue Baggers,
it's so difficult.
Send in your comments, Blue Baggers, if you think that Curnow should play a tagging role or not. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And then there's our forward line, Bolt. I mean, the Bulldogs' back line has worked relatively well this year. How do you see that all unfolding? Do you think that there's going to be a lockdown role on McKay like there has been so far? I mean, the Bulldogs, who lines up on H?
Well, they have worked relatively well, but they always strike me as being one, big defender short, the Bulldogs. So I would say Keith will get the Mackay matchup. Keith's their best defender. And then we'll speak about team selection later, but we obviously know McGovern's not going to be playing. So whether, as much as it's going to, rattle people, as in, I'm expecting Casbolt to play again, as ridiculous as that sounds. So if Casbolt plays, it will be Cordy on Casbolt, and Keith on H, and then if Silvani plays forward, then their third tall maybe like an Easton Wood or someone like that. Bailey Dale's been really, really good off halfback. Because we've seen Gibbons even try and tag the last couple of weeks, so he will probably get the Caleb Daniel matchup as well. Hopefully, if that goes our way, and that might be a little bit more suited to him, the Caleb Daniel matchup, Gibbons. So, but I think it'll be Keith to Mackay, which is a blockbuster matchup.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I reckon H likes that matchup, if I'm honest. I mean, no disrespect to Alex Keith. I just think pure body on body, Mackay's going to be too physical for him, won't he?
Mackay's got a pretty good record against the Western Bulldogs as well. The last 2 years he's beaten them up. So, who's going to stop the John Coleman medal favourite?
Gee, it's you're going early there, Bolt, aren't you?
No, he's going to win the Coleman. He's going to win the Coleman.
Are you that confident?
Yeah, if he plays 22 games, he will win it.
It's crazy. Anyways, let's move on. Well, should we sort of get to the team changes side of things? I mean, it's going to be a long discussion because there's so many players who are ready to come in, and then there's obviously a bunch of players who are sort of on the fringe but are playing well enough to keep their spot. I want everyone to comment what they would do. If you're David Teague this week, what are your changes? Comment them in and we'll analyse them all. Bolt, you're David Teague. What are you doing?
So I'm David Teague.
Yeah, you are David Teague. What are your changes this week?
Thanks for the compliment. The changes this week. It's oh god. Well, I don't think Dow's going to play.
Well, we heard that he, is a test for selection.
But I'm David Teague here,
yeah? Yeah. So, you
okay, well,
changes.
All right, let's go Williams for Dow. That's one. Silvani for McGovern's 2. Yeah. We need some flexibility and versatility. So I'm so sorry for all the fans, including myself. But it's DeConning. Oh, do you reckon they'll bring DeConning straight in? Yeah, they will. We're going to go.
I don't know if they will. Did you read the VFL report? I
did. But I can't watch the circus again. The rucking's a joke at the moment. If I'm the coach, it's DeConning for Pitternet.
Yep.
That's 3. And then I'm going Petreski Seaton for Cottrell, makes it 4. And actually, no, I'm not going Petreski Seaton. I'm going Murphy for Cottrell, makes it 4, and Petreski Seaton can sub it out again.
Okay. Well, that's, yeah.
For me, the 2 that are on notice are probably Gibbons and Nunes. Petreski Seaton could easily come in for Nunes there, but we'll give Petreski Seaton was dropped because of bad form. I know he had a really, really, really impressive cameo against Essendon, but we'll give him another week. But because 5 changes is a lot. Is it Murphy? I can't see Murphy missing out. They're not going to play Murphy in the reserves. Let's be honest.
No. Well, here's my. I feel like DeConning won't play, and if he does, there's no ways he'll come in to play full-time ruck. There's just no ways because he was on semi-managed game time in his first week back. He's played 1 game, so they're not going to bring him in and throw him straight into the ruck. I think what they might do is maybe they'll bring him in and play him in the forward line and pinch it in for Casbolt. That might be the change that we make.
And then Pitternet stays in.
Well, Pitternet just plays the role he's been playing. And
Yeah. Okay. I can live with that. I can live with that. Then no, you've sold me. You sold me. That's what a good assistant coaches do. So decoding for Casbolt. No, I can live with that.
Yeah.
Casbolt gives me a lot of anxiety on the weekend.
The next one, well, I'm going to do decoding for if I'm the coach, I'm going decoding for Casbolt. I'll then go Williams for Cottrell, SPS for Dow, Silvani for McGovern, and Murph for. Oh, I'd probably crazy.
It's tough.
I think Murphy needs to play, but at the same time, maybe he'll be sub.
Does Samo need a play? It's probably not going to do him any good not playing him off the back of that.
Well, if you look at what happened last week, against Essendon, in the crucial moments of the game, it was really like Petrevski-Seaton and Cunningham and these types of guys who stood up. And Petrevski-Seaton was probably almost the best of our players in our best period of the game, wasn't he?
Yeah. It seems like one of Murphy, Petrevski-Seaton, Newnes and Gibbons doesn't play.
Yeah. Well,
misses out. I guess Murphy. Say that again.
What happens if Dow's fit and he wants to play? Well, and they want him to play.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think. Oh, the Dow didn't go off under the concussion protocol, did he? He went off with the
eye.
The eye. Yeah. I'm not gonna say I want Paddy Dow to play, but this week there might just be guys that are ahead of him.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's a crucial match. It's a must-win match. It's it's going to be so hard to pick the teams. It's going to be there's a massive, selection headache, isn't there, this week?
There is, and we'll just touch on Mo's comment here regarding Newman. The reason why I don't think Newman's going to be in the frame for this week is purely because he hasn't really played since 2019. At the end of the day, the two games he featured in last year, he went off virtually at halftime in both with pretty significant injuries. So I think Newman's going to get at least another week in the reserves just to get a bit of match fitness, just to get a bit of a feel of the Sheridan. So Newman definitely has a place in the team for me, but I think it might be a bit premature after 1 week. And given it that, it is hot for spots as it is, I don't think there's any rush with Newman, considering he hasn't played footy for the best part of 20 months.
Yeah, and I'm a massive Nick Newman fan. Like, I think he's clearly and easily in our best 22. But yeah, I think 1 more week in the reserves and then he should be good to go for the year. But also, he was also on managed game time on the weekend. So, it's probably not the right move to bring him straight into the AFL side, especially when, if Newman then is going to play, who do you take out for Newman? It's like you're not going to drop any of our defenders off last week.
No. Newman will have to wait.
It's going to be interesting. Here's one. In Petrevski-Seaton, Koning, Newman and Murphy, out Down, Newnes, McGovern and Owies. Well, Owies would be stiff to be dropped off that performance. And don't think we can drop him off that, can we?
That would be the harshest thing I've ever seen if Matthew Owies was dropped.
It won't happen. Definitely won't happen.
That would be so stiff. No. Owies is safe. What's this one? DeConning for Casbolt, Silvani for McGovern, Williams for Cottrell, Murphy for Gibbons, Setters for Dow. Interesting.
Here's another one. Setterfield and O'Brien. A lot of people have been commenting they'd like to see them. I guess we've sort of forgotten about the guys who have been toiling away in the VFL because we've got all these injured players coming back. Is Setterfield a shout? He's back-to-back best on ground performances. I guess you have to reward form, but at the same time, I don't think it's worth bringing him in if he's not going to play in the guts. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a need to bring in Setterfield. Yeah, as in, look, I agree with Alexander. I think he definitely is a midfielder, a pure inside on ball at AFL level. But there's probably, Cunningham's been really, really good. Curno's playing good footy. Williams will come back in before Setterfield. So I don't think there's going to be room for Setterfield this week.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree. Lee says Nunes won't get dropped after one ordinary game. That's probably been a few, though, hasn't it, Bolt?
Oh, yeah. The Port Adelaide, Brisbane and Essendon games haven't been too flash hot for Dr. Nunes. I'm a Nunes fan. Look, he hasn't missed a game since coming to Carlton. I don't think he'll get dropped personally, but he probably would want to put in a pretty decent performance at Marvel this week.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. Blue Baggers, send in any questions or comments you have, and we'll address them about this week's game against the Doggies. Bolt, let me ask you, what sort of chance do you give us on Sunday? Because it would be an upset if we won, because they are 6-1. So, what chance of an upset do you give us?
Not much. We got to let's take it for what it is. This is probably a top 3 team in the competition on their home deck. With essentially a completely fit side minus Josh Dunkley. As in, this is a team at the top of their game. They're very well organised. They know how to win games. It's a very good team. It's a very good team we're coming up against. So I'm not going to say I go in expecting us to win. A win would be mental. I'll send through a list of bars we'll go to if we do win. But I can't say. You'd have to be wearing the most navy blue coloured goggles to. I think we're going to win, I reckon. But you never know. You never know. We absolutely pulled their pants down last year, and we beat them the year before. So I guess we've got a pretty good record against them. But I would be surprised. I'm going to say 20%.
It's fair. I give us a chance every week because the competition this year is so close. I don't know. I guess it's going to be interesting because the Doggies, I feel like we haven't seen them, play a bad game this year. They were even pretty good against Richmond. So
they were.
You're gonna eventually hit them on an off week, and if we do, we've just got to take advantage of it. I think that our forward line is going to create issues for them, to be honest, especially if De Koning comes in for Casbolt. They're going to have to match up on De Koning and Mackay, and you got Owies and Betts as the smalls. If Murphy comes in, they float Williams down there. It's not an easy forward line to match up on, and then I think that their forward line's really good. But I think if there's a back line that can deal with their forward line, I think ours can as well. So we might see us get a little bit dominated in the middle, but I feel like on either end of the ground, we might match up well against them.
We may. In the last 3 times we've played them, I think we've scored 100 points in all 3 games or thereabouts.
Yeah.
So we do put big scores past them, as in. So Mackay went nuts against them. I think early in 2019, and Charlie Curnow had a field day midway through 2019, and Betts and Mackay got hold of him last year. So we do put big scores past them. We do terrorise their defence. It's a shame Ryan Gardner's not playing because he's one of my favourites to watch. But yeah,
it's going to be very, very exciting, I think, on Sunday. Did you get a chance to watch the VFL on the weekend?
I'll leave that for you, my friend.
Oh, I was going to ask you if you think who you think you'd bring in from that game.
Well, you've been talking about O'Brien.
Well, I don't think he comes in. He doesn't come in, but he was good.
No, I don't think. I think the inclusion is going to come in the way of returning injured players. So, I read the articles and all that. De Koning and De Koning looks like the big one. Silvani's a really good one to get back, and then Murphy Williams hopefully makes us a better team, I'd say. So, Yeah.
I love the optimism from Sean here. The Bulldogs are putrid. We will intimidate them. I love the enthusiasm and the optimism.
Yep.
TDK.
He is the man. He is the man. He's the one I'm excited for. I'm very excited to see TDK play. Very excited. He's the one I get excited about. He's going to make a massive difference. And big H kick. Say that again.
Does De Koning have to come in this week? Like, is it wherever he plays, just get him in?
No, we probably do have to take the long game approach with someone like TDK, but I would love to see him in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think I'm in the same.
Big H kicks 5 to half time. Yes.
Yes. Can't see Levi dropped after McGovern going down injured.
Fair enough. No, I agree with that. I'm on the same page.
Yeah, look, Gluebaggers, keep commenting now. Bolt, let's get on to predictions. Give us the winner and the margin. And Bluebaggers, send in all your predictions, all your team changes, your winner on the day and how much they will win by. And hopefully there's a lot of confident Bluebaggers out there. Bolt, what are you thinking?
You can't say hopefully there's going to be a lot of confident Bluebaggers and then ask me what I think.
Well, you got to be confident at the same time. I mean, we got to be realistic, and the Bulldogs are very good. But yeah, you got to be confident as well.
Hold on, we've got to address Brody here, thinking I'm Paddy McCartan. Now, Brody, firstly, I'm not Paddy McCartan, and secondly, if you ask the question again, I might give you the Paddy McCartan. But no, in all seriousness, Paddy McCartan, there was a shocking look in the VFL, and he should buy a Tats Auto ticket because he should have got way more than 5 weeks. So absolutely disgusting.
Should have got way more.
Absolutely feral. But
I love that. Blues by 128.
Yeah, shit. That's I'm gonna say Bulldogs by 37.
Okay. Trevor wants to know, why doesn't Cripper just re-sign?
I'd love to know. I'd love to get that signature. Be a very good day for the footy club.
It would be. It would be. A lot of confident Bluebaggers.
Mickey C. I wonder what that's paying in a multi, Mickey C. H to kick 8+, bets first goal, Carlton by that much. Dogs by 18. David Beckham in the picture there. Good player. Murphy should not be coming in, and Casbolt gave way more free kicks than he got kicks. Casbolt, I think, is frustrating the entire fan base, but Casbolt's a lucky man at the moment. Curnow, McDonald, McGovern out long term, and De Koning's been out, so it's almost last man standing with Casbolt.
Yeah.
Very funny. Very good. Very well played. Very well played. The blood sugar levels just astounding, really. Sam Walsh, he will be the next captain. I'd be pretty surprised if he wasn't. He is a franchise player. He's a marquee player. He's the man for the next 12, 15 years, Sammy Walsh. Very exciting.
Oh, it's very, very exciting. George has tipped a draw here.
That's not good for the blood sugar level. The blood sugar levels either, George. That wouldn't be a nice watch, but I'd take it.
And draw.
I'm not going to say no to a draw. Carlton by 7 would also be a lovely Sunday afternoon. One of our best ball users. I don't think he's going to come in this week, but we'll have to see how we go this week. Guys are playing for their spots here. I think people have to start getting a bit desperate because there's a lot of guys that come back in, and after this first wave of injuries, Fisher and Martin come back in.
Yeah, well, no, Fisher's still a while away. He's 5 to 7 still, but Martin,
really?
I think
is Fisher that far away?
Yeah, Fisher, there was a huge setback with him.
Oh, great. Very frustrating.
Play Casbolt in the backline well. I mean, that could, especially against such a big backline, big forward line this week for the Doggies, that could be the go.
He definitely sees the ball better when it's coming at him, but yeah, I'm not sure.
I actually agree with Mitch here.
Because he has been a little bit quiet the last couple. He was definitely a bit quiet on the weekend, Fogarty, but he popped up and kicked a couple goals, which was two massive goals as well. Like massive.
Popped up at the perfect time. That's what the good players do.
Yeah, no, I like the Fog. He slotted in pretty seamlessly, hasn't he?
Paul, yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully he has signed.
I like it, Paulie.
I like that. Hopefully, a bit of insight there that comes true. Yeah, Riley Cunningham better play midfield. Yeah, I definitely.
No, he'll be in the guts. He's been brilliant.
Just before we go, I don't care if he stays or goes, Cripper. We got to get Chera from Fremantle. Well, I prefer for Cripps to stay personally, but Chera would be nice as well.
Chera would be lovely.
Yes. Well, Bolt, we've run out of time.
Got him pick 3 in that draft.
We've run out of time, Bolt, but we'll be back to do it again next week, and hopefully it's after a win again. It's always better to do this after a win, isn't it?
Yeah, and especially against the polite people down at Essendon. Always a pleasure seeing them on a weekend. So
give us a little boo before you go.
Yeah, boo, Sard, boo. Heard it all bloody weekend.
Oh, lovely, Bolt. Blue Baggers, thank you so much for tuning into this week's edition of Blues Footy Live. Hopefully we get up on the weekend. It would be a massive, massive result. And Bolt, I will see you there. Blue Baggers, thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week on Blues Footy Live.
Go Blues.
Go Blues.